don't really know how to start this video, to be honest with you. It's probably going to get a little bit deep, so if that's not the video that you're here for, absolutely fine, understandable. See you in the next video. For those of you that are new, I have a health condition that has caused me some severe vision loss, and it's been just over 2 years now since I have had to start dealing with this, I guess. And I wanted to talk about how it's affected my business and what I've done to adapt. I think 2 years is a long enough amount of time to have adjusted, and I just thought there might be somebody out there that's benefited, that can benefit from it, or just somebody, people that just might find it a little bit interesting. I'm quite a nosy person and I love videos like this, and I thought that somebody else might. If you are new to my channel, we will quickly get out of the way my condition and a little brief backstory, just so you're not completely lost, because I haven't done a video about this in quite a while because there's been no changes. I have a condition called idiopathic intracranial hypertension, which basically means that I have too much pressure in my brain and around my eyes. Everybody has spinal fluid. Obviously the cat needs to join in. Everybody has spinal fluid around their brain. It protects your brain, basically. It cushions it, and it kind of goes up into your brain, and then your body flushes it back out again. My body, for whatever reason, is incapable of flushing it out, so it just builds up and builds up. And the pressure has caused permanent damage to my optic nerves. Therefore, I have got severe vision loss. I am registered as severely sight impaired, legally blind. I can still see, I can see. I'm not what a lot of people would consider blind. I do have to use a white cane, a walking aid, because I have, my vision is like looking through straws, and the vision that I do have is quite blurred and it's very light dependent. I will put a visual up on screen, something that I've found that is maybe the closest to my vision. However, the black bits that you can see on screen now are not black for me, they're just non-existent. It's very difficult to explain to somebody that doesn't have vision loss, but the black bits aren't black. The bits that you can't see, they're not just black, they're not there. They're not grey, they're not white, they're just not there. It's the weirdest thing to try and explain. But yeah, that's my kind of vision, and that's what I'm working with. And I'm legally not allowed to drive. I have been in and out of hospital over the past 2 years. That's settled down now. Over the last 12 months, I have not been in hospital at all, touch wood, apart from routine checkups and appointments. And they seem to have, sorry, just put the cat down because he really wants my attention. My condition seems to have stabilised, and my eye tests, my vision seems to have stabilised. It is not better, but it seems to have stabilised. But yeah, that's my health, and that's what I'm working with. As far as how has it affected my business over the last 2 years? Well, the biggest thing for me, without a shadow of a doubt, is I've had to slow down. I've been forced to slow down massively. And I don't even think that is because of my vision loss. I think that is more because of the condition that I have. The condition that I have, the IIH, one of the main side effects or symptoms is actually fatigue, but severe fatigue, hit a brick wall fatigue. I will work and work and work, really go ass to the grass balls deep work, and then I can do that for a good week, and then all of a sudden I'm bedridden and I can't do it anymore, because I want to work like I used to, but I can't. I don't have that capability anymore. So my 90-day total on eBay over the past 2 years has completely halved. It's halved, and that is soul destroying, because there is nothing I can do physically. I've worked my butt off, and it just keeps dropping. I mean, I think it doesn't help that we were in lockdown. COVID was happening at the same time as me being hospitalised and losing vision, because I had COVID at the same time as all of this. When I first went into hospital with like trouble with my eyesight, I also had a COVID test and was diagnosed with COVID as well, and it slowed down a lot of my surgeries. I had to have 3 lots of brain surgery, and I had to wait, and I was in hospital for a month, and I had to wait because I had COVID and my lungs were affected quite badly. But I have done a previous video on that, so if you're interested on like hearing more about it, you can look back on my channel, or I'll link it at the top actually. I'll make sure I remember to link it. So I don't want to fill this video with all of that when I've already spoke about it. So yeah, I think obviously if you're a reseller, you'll know, and it probably was the same for you. During lockdown, sales skyrocketed, absolutely skyrocketed, because the culture of shopping online was massive. And yet we probably couldn't get the stock as easily, and we had to like figure out how to source differently. But sales just went through the roof, and it almost gave us not rose tinted glasses, but I don't know. I don't know. It made our 90-day totals went through the roof, and now I don't know whether it's the same for anybody else, but having to deal now with the decline of it, and obviously we're dealing with the money crisis, an economic crisis. Not as many people are shopping for stuff that is deemed a luxury at the minute. But yeah, that's the main thing that I've noticed that has been affected, is I've had to slow down my pace massively, and my 90-day total has been crushed. It's been absolutely like slashed in half, and it is really difficult mentally to like trying to find the words without. I did write notes, but I wanted this to be as like authentic as possible, so I wrote a couple of bullet points, but now I can't find the words. It's hard to get the motivation to work anyway because of this fatigue, but then also I compare myself to the woman that I was 3 or 4 years ago, before any of this was an issue, before I had a disability. And I think that I know that she's not coming back. I know that she is gone. And that's a very hard pill to swallow. I wasn't going to get emotional through this video, so I'm not going to. But yeah, that's the main thing I've noticed that's changed. Also, let's move on quickly. Sourcing. I've had to start sourcing a lot differently. I used to go out. I mean, Chris at one point Chris is my husband, by the way, if you didn't know. At one point he was only working 3 days a week, so we had 2 days where he was putting into the business with me. So we were sourcing, like spending a full day sourcing together, and we could travel here, there and everywhere to source. And then we also I could source on my own very confidently and very efficiently. I live in a town that has a lot of charity shops, and I live very, very close to the town centre. So it's very easy for me to source. I'm very, very grateful for that. And also getting onto public transport, really easy. I could also drive, and a few times I'd drive to local towns by myself, and that's absolutely fine. I always hated driving, but you know, it was an option. Now Chris works 5 days a week again, because obviously he has to, because our money from eBay and reselling has halved. So he's now working full-time again and not putting any time into eBay. I'm doing it all by myself, which is probably another reason why the income has gone down a little bit. Also, I can only source once or twice a week, and it takes me a long time because I struggle with, again, the fatigue and the eye strain when I'm out sourcing. It's a very difficult thing to try and word. But it wipes me out. It wipes me out. I go out to a few shops and I can do it. I can do it. I'm very capable. But it knackers me. And I can't even explain how much. And I bet you're probably thinking like, oh, you're being a bit dramatic, which is absolutely fine. You're entitled to that opinion. And I'd probably think the same if it was me. But it absolutely kills me. Which is really, again, really difficult for me to accept, because I used to be able to do it so quickly and efficiently and love doing it. And now it's to the point where going out sourcing is sometimes really mentally draining, because I have to be so aware of my surroundings to try and keep myself safe. It's just not as enjoyable anymore as it used to be. So I have changed how I source. I source a lot more online, which it's not as fun. It's not as fun, but and it takes a long time to source online. Like, oh my gosh. You have to really like scour to find stuff. But I've been sourcing online and it's been doing okay. I've been finding some alright things. I did try and find, I tried with wholesale. I don't know what I'm doing. And I'm too scared to take the plunge. I'm too scared to be mugged off, I'll be honest. I'd love to find contacts wholesale, but I don't know where to look. I feel like if I'm finding them on Google, then so's everybody else. I have like severe social anxiety, so the thought of like having to ring somebody about it, makes my skin crawl. But I'm gonna have to if I want to succeed in these things. Yeah, so that's, my sourcing is completely changed. The way I source stock has completely changed. And I can't get hold of as much stock anymore as what I used to. So again, that is probably why my 90-day total has plummeted. I think a very, very big part of how it's changed how I sell is I've opened another complete separate business. I now make and sell jewellery. I never, ever, ever would have found this if it wasn't for when I was ill and pretty much bedridden. I was in recovery, and I was in, like, I'll be honest, in a deep depressive state. I was really, really struggling. I can look back and talk about it now because I'm out of the other end of it. But I was mentally very much struggling to come to the terms with the fact that I'd lost a lot of vision. We didn't know whether it was going to continue getting worse. It did get worse from that point, unfortunately, but now it's stable. But we didn't know how much worse it was going to get. I may go completely blackout blind. We had no idea. I was in a very, very dark place, and I needed something to keep me busy. I needed something that I felt like capable of, like something that I thought I could do. So I started making jewellery. It's a very tactile thing. Yes, I still need some vision for some of it. Luckily, I've still got some. But it's very tactile. And at first I started making it for myself, and I started making it for like gifts for people. And then all of a sudden I was overridden with jewellery, because anytime I felt down and I felt like I needed to take my mind off things, I was wire wrapping stuff. I was making bracelets. And then all of a sudden I've got this abundance and I've made so much that I opened an Etsy shop. And my Etsy shop doesn't really earn me any money. It takes so much time, earns me nothing, but there's so much more passion behind that than there is eBay. Don't get me wrong, I love I love reselling clothing, especially stuff that I find from charity shops, especially stuff that, like, stopping it from going to landfill. Like, I'm not a fast fashion girly. I can't remember the last time I bought anything brand new, because why? When there's so much great stuff out there that is, like, about to be thrown away, why buy brand new? But the jewellery side of things, it's a passion that, oh, I love it. I love it so much. And because it was, at the time, I proved to myself that I could do something. I didn't know whether I was going to go completely blind, and I was in grief, like full on grief. I was mourning for this, for my eyesight, for the girl that I used to be, that I was never ever going to be anymore, the things that I was never ever going to be able to do anymore. Yeah, I'd found something new that I could do that I don't think I ever would have done before. Does that make sense? I'm just so, I'm getting tongue-tied. I'm so passionate about it because it pulled me out of such a dark place. It's not because the things are so pretty. It's not because, look, I made this myself. It's because when I was in my, like, darkest place, it gave me hope that I didn't need to give up. I thought that if I was capable of making these little pieces of jewellery, then maybe I was capable. Sorry. Maybe I was capable of other things. And not all was lost. So yeah, jewellery. That was a huge game changer. My jewellery business was a huge game changer, and that, all the time that I'm putting into that is obviously time taken away from eBay. Yeah, composure. Time taken away from eBay, and it's cost me a lot of money, quite frankly. It's cost me a lot of money, and a lot of me feels guilty about that, because that's a lot of money that it's cost my family as well. But at the same time, I needed that. I needed it, and I still do. I still do. So yeah, jewellery. Also, live selling. Live selling. Now, I never would have done live selling. If you had asked me 3 years ago, if live selling had come onto the market 3 years ago, I would have said, heck no. No way. Not a chance. Not doing it. Not doing it. I'll let everybody else take a slice of that pie, and I will sit back and watch, because my confidence would have said, no way. I have been through so much in the past 3 years that now, if I get given an opportunity, I see things completely different. If I get given an opportunity to do something, I jump at it. If you get given an opportunity in life to do something, snatch it, take it, because you don't know how long you're going to be here for. You don't know how long you're going to be capable of accepting that opportunity, of doing that. So yeah, 3 years ago, before I'd had this big life change, I guess, I wouldn't have done live selling. I wouldn't have even sniffed at it. I would have been like, no way, I'm not doing that. I'm too scared. So if you've considered live selling and thought, oh, I'd love to do that, but I don't think I could. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. You are more than capable of doing it. And just do it. Just do it. If there's anything that you just think, oh, I could never do that. Why? Why? Why could you actually not do it? What is actually holding you back? Because there is actual things now that I cannot do, that I can't do, and a lot of other people with disabilities can't do. And it's now made me realise that every opportunity that I can do, I'm going to try it. I'm going to try. Like with Poshmark, there was a lot of uproar when Poshmark not failed, because Poshmark hasn't failed, but when Poshmark in the UK closed, there was a lot of, the people that like tried it, they've wasted their time. There was no time wasted. There was not a single minute of my time was wasted on Poshmark. I mean, everyone's entitled to their opinions. In my opinion, not a single minute of my time was wasted on Poshmark, because it gave me the confidence. Like, I am proud of myself. I am proud of myself that I started live selling on Poshmark. It has made me, I dove in head first, and then when Whatnot came along, I dove in head first there as well. And I think I've done, what, 3 shows now? And I'm hoping to do weekly shows on there as well, and I love it. I love it. And that has, if it wasn't for my condition and my vision loss and how it has changed me as a person, I never would have taken that leap for my business. I never, ever would have done. I never would have considered it. I would have sat back and been too scared. And I am grateful for how it's changed me as a person. I am very much less bothered now about what people think about me and people's opinions on me, because quite frankly, it doesn't matter. Obviously, I don't want to hurt people's feelings. I don't mean it in that way, but there's no point getting upset about things that you cannot change. And that's something that I've had to learn, because I can't change that I cannot see very well. I can't change it, and it breaks my heart every time I sit and think about it. I get so upset, but I can't change it, so why am I wasting my energy getting so upset about it? So I'm kind of grateful for that, because it's changed my mindset on so many things. So yeah, it's changed a lot about my business. It's changed about how I look at my business. And the main takeaway from everything, all of these kind of seem not negative. That last one wasn't negative. The whole video seems kind of negative, but it's not. It's not meant to come across negative. The main change that is given me, or made me, not change, again, words. This is such a raw video that the words are just getting all completely tangled. The main difference for me in my business is my outlook on it, is how I perceive it. My business has declined. I'm now spreading it thinly, my time thinly over lots of things rather than just one thing. It's not declined in about, it's not declined massively. Like, obviously it's going to decline because I took so much time off because I was in hospital for a long period of time. But my outlook on it, I am super, super grateful that I started my business 5 years ago. If I had been working for somebody else, I never, ever, ever would have coped. I took probably around 6 months almost off, and I couldn't do that in an ordinary job. Couldn't do that. I have been able to adapt my business to suit me and my needs. I couldn't do that in an ordinary job. I am super, super appreciative of everybody that's helped me along the way. Super appreciative of my friends, my family, everybody in the reselling community, especially like the reselling community here and on Instagram. Like, the support is second to none. And it's just, the whole situation has just made me, no pun intended, it's really opened my eyes on like how, I want to say lucky I am to have this business, but it's not luck when you built it yourself, is it? I'm grateful though, I'm grateful. I'm grateful to past me, even though she thought that she wasn't good enough and she thought she wasn't putting in enough time and effort. I am grateful for her because she built a foundation so that me now can carry on, plodding on at a slower pace, because that's all I can physically do, and it can continue. I don't know how long I'm going to be able to continue at this, because finding stock is harder and harder, But fingers crossed I can continue. I absolutely love reselling. I love it. I am the type of person where I find something that I enjoy doing and I obsess over it for a while and then I drop it. And I thought I'd be the same about the jewellery thing, but no, I love it. And I hope that it continues for years to come. Obviously, it's very much dependent on vision. With the IIH, the condition I have, I'm not in remission, technically yet. I take medication daily for it, and I had surgery. I have something called a VP shunt, which basically drains the fluid for me. It's like a plumbing, it's like a piece of plumbing that drains the fluid for me. But they don't last forever. That is going to fail at some point because they're not robust bits of kit. It's been 2 years so far. It failed twice when I first had it done, which is why I had 3 lots of surgery. But I am just riding the wave at the minute. I'm enjoying the fact that at the minute I've learnt to live like this, and I'm hoping that it's going to be a little while before I need to have that revised, and I'm hoping that I don't need to have any more surgery for quite a while, because when I do, it means that the pressure is probably high again and my vision is probably going to have been affected again. That's the only problem, because I don't have very much vision left. I now have to act very quickly if it happens again. So yeah, until that happens, we will carry on with eBay and all other platforms, because it's not just eBay anymore. A few years ago it was just eBay. It's now just reselling, isn't it? We'll carry on with reselling, we'll carry on with jewellery making for as long as I physically can, because I bloody love it, I'll be quite frank. And this cat really wants my attention. The whole video is wanting my attention. I'm going to leave it there because I think I've said enough. If you watched it till the end, thank you so much. I know this was kind of a different video. I appreciate you so much, and do hit the like and subscribe and all that stuff, and I will see you in my next video. Bye everybody.